So inshallah we're going to start. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. So inshallah we will learn ayat number 29 to 31 of Surah Ghafir today. Before we do a simple translation of these ayats, there is a background of these ayats. The situation is, this is the place, the court of Fir'aun, and Musa alayhi salam is present there. And at this point, after back and forth argument, Fir'aun is deciding that it is the time that he should kill Musa alayhi salam. So upon that, a person who belongs to the people of the Fir'aun, in the court of the Fir'aun, and he is someone very influential person, he stood up and he spoke to defend Musa alayhi salam, and he put his own life at risk. And he gave a long speech. So these are the ayats where this person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls him mu'min. He is speaking. So we'll do a translation first and then we'll do the detailed breakdown. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Ya qawmi lakumul mulkul yawma. He's saying, this man is saying, oh my people. He's addressing the Fir'aun and other people there by saying, Ya qawmi, oh my people, lakumul mulkul yawm. Today, this day, the kingdom, the authority, the power belongs to you. Zahirina fil ardi. You have the upper hand. You are the dominant in the land nowadays. Then he said that if you continue rejecting the message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving you through Musa alayhi salam, then Allah's punishment may befall. Then he says, فَمَنْ يَنْصُرُنَا. So who is going to help us? مِنْ بَأْسِ اللَّهِ. If Allah's punishment or affliction befell. In ja'ana, if it came upon us. So he stopped there for a minute and Fir'aun spoke now. And he said something, he interrupted the speech of this mu'min. Qala Fir'aunu, the Fir'aun said, Ma urikum illa ma ara. I'm not showing you what I see myself. And he's making a logical statement that what fear I have about this man, I'm trying to explain and convey that he is going to do something to us. Then he further says, Wama ahadikum, and I am not guiding you. Fir'aun is saying to his own people, I am not guiding you illa except sabila rashad, to a path which is the right way of acting in the situation like this. So he said these few words and then the person, mu'min, continued his speech. وَقَالَ الَّذِي آمَنَ. This is the beginning of ayat number 30. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the man who had believed, he said, same person. This time he says, Ya qawmi, O my people, inni akhafu, indeed I fear, alaykum, about you or for you, mithla yawmil ahzab, like the situation of those people, a day which befell upon the people of the older time, different groups, different nations. There came a day upon them when, after they had rejected the message of their messenger or the prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished them. So that day a similar day may befall you or may come upon you. And I fear for that, because you are repeating the same pattern where previous nations did. Then he gives the example of some nations that were destroyed in the past. Mithla da'abi qawmi. He said the example or like the plight, the situation of Qawm Nuh, the people of Nuh, what happened to them? They were destroyed. Wa'adin, and the people of Ad, they were destroyed. The people of Ad, where Hud alayhi salam was sent as a messenger. Wa Thamud, and the people of Thamud and the Saleh was sent to them as a messenger. They were also destroyed. وَالَّذِينَ مِن بَعْدِهِمْ, and those people who came after them, there were many other nations that were destroyed because they rejected the message of the Prophet. So the same thing may happen to you. Min ba'dihim, after these three nations that he has mentioned, he says there may be many other people or nations who came after them. Then he's saying that the punishment because befell or struck them because of their own disobedience, not that Allah wanted to destroy them or Allah wanted to do something wrong to them. So that's what he's saying. Wamallahu, and Allah does not yuridu, intend or want, zulman, the wrongdoing, to lil ibad, to his servants or to the people that he created. Allah is not the one who does the zulm, does the wrong, but the punishment and the destruction comes because of the rejection and their own doings of the people when the messengers came to. And the same thing is happening now that you have a prophet or a messenger who is among you, and you are among, he's telling to his own people, Pharaoh and his people in the court, that you are rejecting him. And his speech continues, and he says many logical things to warn Pharaoh that do not kill Musa and select or choose the way Musa alayhi salam is presenting. So with that, we'll go back to the beginning and do a detailed breakdown of the words. The very first word is Ya Qawmi. The speech is from the person, this mu'min, and he is addressing the people inside the court by calling Ya Qawmi. So let's understand that thing. This is a combination of these three words. First one is a Ya, and the second word is Qawmun. And third one is Ya. Okay. Ya is called harf-e ada or adar or harf-e nida. So we'll just call it harf-e nida. This harf is actually, it is called harf, and I'll write down nida here. Nida means to call. This word, which is actually a combination of two letters, Ya and Alif, is used when you want to talk to someone, you want to address some person who is in front of you or you can reach that person. Then when you start the conversation, generally in Arabic, the word Ya is used. In English, it is O. So if you are saying, O pupil, O person, O my man, O my son, you address this before you start your speech. So you draw the attention of the person by this word Ya. Then after that, you use the person or the people or whoever you are addressing. For example, if you are addressing your son, then you put the word son there. Now here, he is addressing his own pupil. So he is using the word qawmun. The original word is qawmun, always with the two dhammas or two pesh on the last letter. This is the original state of the word. Now, the characteristic of this word, Ya, harf nada, is that when it comes before a name or a noun, it changes the last letters, dhammas, to the fathas. For example, if the name of a person is Abdullah, dal has a dhamma on it, And if a mother is calling the child whose name is Abdullah, she will say, Ya Abdullah. She will not say, Ya Abdullah. So the effect of the word Ya is that it changes the last letters, the name or whatever you are calling, from two dhammas to two fathas, or if there is one dhamma, then one fatha. So if the name is Abdullah, she will call him Abdullah. Okay, so that is why, because Ya has the effect of that. Number one. Number two. Number three, in this particular formation, the last letter Ya is a pronoun and it means me or I. Okay, so we have to combine these three together to come up what is the first word, Ya Qawmi. So how does it work? So Qawmi means people, and these are the people of the Pharaoh. So this man is addressing his own people, who are the people of the Pharaoh. So first thing what we do, we combine Qawmun and Ya, and we put an off in between in English. So it will be pupil of me or my pupil. Okay, and this rule is called mudaf mudaf ilayh. When you combine these two, you put an off in English, and in Arabic the rule is that two dhammas change into one and Ya changes, but Ya is a pronoun, pronouns don't change. So that is the first effect. Then the second effect will be when you put the Ya, Ya will change it. So this will become, Ya is going to be written this way. Okay, then Qaw will be written this way, Qaw, and Meme will be combined and will be written this way, Ya Qaw Mi. Okay, so that is the final word, Ya Qawmi, O my people. Now, in the scripting, in the writing of the Arabic, this kasra and a Ya both have same sound, E sound. So to make it short, we don't write Ya, but we just write down the kasra under the meme. This kasra under the meme actually is this Ya there. Okay, so short form is Ya Qawmi, which is written in the beginning, the first word, and the meaning is that, oh my people. So he is addressed, and that this is a very respectable way of addressing someone, or loving way, or showing the regard. So he's saying, oh my people, oh my dear people, Ya Qawmi. Then he says two words, Lakumul mulkul yawma. The third one is different. So first one is that he is using the word lakum. A very interesting thing, and I'll explain that to you. The word is la means to or for, or it also means belongs to. Kum means you, and this is a plural, and this is you all. And kum has a sukoon at the last letter, la kum. So when you combine these two, it means belongs to you, to all of you, all the people who are sitting there. He is addressing them. He's saying there is something which is yours, which belongs to you. What is that belongs to you? The word is mim, lam, and kaf. Okay. The way it is, first word is mulkun. Mulkun, when we stop, we say mulk, and we know the meaning of the mulk is land or power or authority, the kingdom, the dominion. Okay. Then if you put al before that, the, al will remove one dhamma, so the meaning will be al mulko. Al mulko means dominion, power, authority. Okay. Very important thing is that you have to make sure that you pronounce this lam with a sukoon on it, mulko. If you mispronounce, the meaning will change, because malak is a different meaning. If you pronounced, that means angel, or some other meanings are there. So al-mulku means the kingdom, the power, the authority belongs to you. So this man is saying, now one more thing, when you read these together, in order to combine this kum with lam, we have to replace this sukoon by a fataha. So la ko mul, kumul with the dhamma, not a fataha. Lakumul mulku, the authority, the kingdom belongs to you today. So he is, and I'll point out something very interestingly he's saying to all of these people that power and authority belongs to you. And he himself is a part of that. But he is not saying that belongs to me also. But in the next word, he's changing his style of speech. But up to this point, he is saying authority belongs to you, which means the people of the Pharaoh. But then he is using another word after that. So let's look at that word. The word that commonly we know is yawmun. This is the original word, yawmun. Yawmun means day. Okay, yawm, when we know that this word very commonly, but full word is yawmun. When you put al before that, al brings the meaning the, okay, and al removes one dhamma, so it will becomes al yawmu. Now, he is pointing and he is saying today. Today means at present. Presently, the kingdom, the authority, it belongs to you, to the Pharaoh and his people. Now, this word al-yawmu is defining a time frame. And when it is defined as a time frame, this is called zarf-e zaman. This word zarf-e zaman means, zarf is adjective in English. Zaman means zamana, the time. So when a word is coming as a zarf-e zaman, then it goes into the state of nasab and we change dhamma to a fataha. So the word al-yawma means today, presently, at this time. Now the dominion, the kingdom belongs to you, to the people of the Pharaoh. So he's saying, before he gives his an argument, he is reminding them that, okay, today you are powerful in the land. Then he further uses another word after that, which is the word za and ha and ra, zahara. It has multiple meanings: to appear, to show up. Zahir is something that, and then there are many other zihar and zohor and all kind of words are made from, but the meaning that we are going to use, there is another meaning which means to have the upper hand. Zahara, one of the meanings is to have the upper hand. Now, so a person who has upper hand is zahirun, like fa'ilun. So first we'll make zahirun by putting an alif at the version of fa'il, a doer. So zahir is a person who has power and authority or dominion. Okay, so that is the singular person. We make the plural of that word by putting in a waw and noon, like muslimun, muslimuna. Wuna will make it a plural. So this will become zahiruna. Zahir, the first time when you make the plural, you have to add a waw. Waw is a letter of plural. So zahiruna, if the word is by itself, then it will be zahiruna. Zahiruna are those people who in the society or in a land have upper hand. Upper hand means they have authority, they have power, they have dominion. So the word is zahiruna. Now in this sentence, this word is representing a hal. What is a hal? Hal is a present situation or present existence of something. For example, what is a hal? If I say a child came in laughing, If I say child came in laughing, so action of the child was he came in, but his hal was he was laughing. That's the definition of hal, a condition that he is representing at that time. So when a word is represented as a hal, it changes, and in this case, we change this waw by a ya to represent the hal. And a pronunciation will require that we pronounce as zahirina. Meaning is same, those who have the upper hand, but at upper hand at the present time, their hal, their situation is that they have the power and authority. So he's saying, lakumul mulkul yauma, today you have the power. Upper hand, zahirina, you have the upper hand. Fil ardi, in the land. Ardun is the land, and he's here the land will be the kingdom of Pharaoh. How far? The kingdom of the Pharaoh in Egypt and wherever in the nearby land. All this will be the ard for Pharaoh. So fil ardi, in the land, which means in the country that you are ruling, today you have the power and the authority and the other upper hand. Now, there is in between. What is in between? You have all these things, and then at the same time, a messenger has come among you, who is Musa alayhi salam. He has brought to you the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he's using actually the word Allah, we will see that. And you are rejecting him. So if you continue rejecting, then it may happen that he's promising to you that Allah's punishment may come upon you. So that is the next thing. فَمَنْ يَنْصُرُنَا. So let's see that fa means so or then. Okay, man means who or whoever. Okay. Now the next word is nasara. Noon, swad and ra. Nasara means to help. Nasir is a helper, and this word is a very commonly known word. Okay. Nusrat is a help. Okay. We are going to make the grammar of he helps. Okay. So what we do, we put a ya in the beginning and pronounce as yansuru. Yansuru is the grammar. Yansuru means he third person, whoever that is, and present tense helps. Or you also can make the grammar, same word is used for the future tense. So he will help. So he helps is present tense. He will help is the future tense. You can use either of those, but we will see which one fits in the text. So word is yansuru. Simple meaning is he will help. Now you have a word man. Okay. Man means who. So this man will replace this he. Okay. So the meaning will be man and yansuru, who will help. Who will help. Now in the tajweed, noon and ya, when they come together, you pronounce mai, you noon gunna. It turns into the state of idgham. So pronunciation will be mai yansuru, who will help. Then he is using the word na after that. Na means us or we. Okay. So mai yansuruna, who will help us. So who will help us. So he's saying that, is there someone who will help us? If something happened, if an azab of Allah befell, who is going to help us? So he's putting a question in front of these people that, and now he is including himself, because he knows that when the Allah's punishment comes, everybody will be wiped out from there, so he himself will suffer the punishment. So he is including himself. He's not saying that yansorokum, who will help you. He's saying yansorona, who will help all of us, you, me, and everybody. What is going to happen to that? The word is mim ba'asillah. Let's look at that word. The root letters is ba, alif, and seen. Now this actually is not an alif. This is a hamza. Okay? And alif is just a chair this hamza is sitting on. So root letters are actually ba, hamza, and seen. Okay, the meaning of these three root letters is to afflict, to punish someone, to give someone difficulty, so to make someone suffer. So when we make the noun is made by the sound of ba, alif, and seen with two dhammas. But this alif actually is hamza. And we combine. So if I write this one, first I will write it this way. Ba, hamza, and seen. And there is a alif which is sitting underneath as a chair. The reason I'm writing it this way because most of us pronounce it wrong. We say bas. This is not bas. This is not be, alif, seen. This is ba, hamza, and seen. Alif is just sitting as a chair for hamza. So pronunciation is ba'asun. You have to give a little bit hamza sound there. Ba'asun. Ba'asun means punishment or azab. Then you combine this with the word Allahu. Allahu is a noun and last letter is Dhamma. So this word means punishment. This is Allahu and then you put off in between. So it will be punishment of Allah or azab of Allah. Okay. This is like combining two words, two nouns as mudaf, mudaf ilayh. So the rule is that on the first word you remove one dhamma. On the second one you remove dhamma and replace it by kasra. So when you combine and pronounce, it will be ba'asullahi. The full combined word is ba'asullahi. The meaning is that punishment of Allah. Then we are going to put a word min before that. Min means from. Okay. Min is a harf-e-jar. And harf-e-jar looks at the next noun and attacks this dhamma and changes this to a kasra. That's the characteristic of a harf-e-jar. Okay. So now the final word is min ba'asillahi. That's the word in the Quran. From the punishment of Allah, who will help us if the punishment of Allah came upon us. Okay. Now again, when we read as tajweed together, min is written actually this way first. Min means from. But when noon and ba come together, the sound of this noon modifies to sound of mim. So it becomes mim ba'asillahi. Very important. In the tajweed, we pronounce mim. Some people pronounce min, which is not correct. Then some people pronounce this alif, which is not correct. So mim ba'asillahi, from the punishment of Allah. فَمَنْ يَنْصُرُنَا, so who is going to help us? Mim ba'asillahi, from the or against the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he further says, in ja'ana. In means if. He's saying, agar, if it happened that. Now the root letters are jim, ya, and hamza. This means to come. And if you put three fathahs, it becomes the grammar of past tense. Okay. Ya with a fatah is pronounced as alif. So it becomes ja. Ja'a means he came or it came. It is pointing to the ba'as. So the punishment came. Then na means us. If the punishment came to us or upon us. Another important thing is that when you have a hamza and there is an alif before that, you put a mad on alif and make it a long sound. Ja'ana. In ja'ana, if it came upon us. If the punishment, if the ba'asillah came upon us, who is going to save us or help us or protect us? So this man has reached to this statement and the Pharaoh interrupted him. The next word is qala fir'aunu. Pharaoh said. Okay. So now Pharaoh spoke and he said something. Now, as I mentioned to you, that qala, the means he said, third person, but at this point we don't say who he is. Okay. But when you look at the next word and notice the next word is a noun and it's Pharaoh. Okay. Important thing to notice is that ponder if the last letter has a dhamma. Very important. Fir'aunu. If this is a dhamma or a pesh, then this whole word will replace he. And the meaning will be Pharaoh said. You don't have said he said Pharaoh, but he will go away and Pharaoh will replace. Qala Fir'aunu. Pharaoh said now. What did he say? So let's explain few things before we break it down. There is a word ma. Ma has a meaning. Simple first meaning is what or that which. Okay. But if ma comes with the word illa in the sentence, illa means but or except, then ma does not have this meaning, then ma means not. So if you are reading and there comes a sentence where ma and illa come together in the same sentence, then ma should be translated as not. Otherwise, if the ma is a standalone, it means what or that. In the next sentence, both of these rules are coming. So I wanted to explain this one. So keep this thing in mind. Now, let's look at the word, another word which is coming 2 times here. Root letters are ra, alif, and ya. These 3 root letters, their meaning is to see. Okay. Araita allazi, we read the surah, that means have you not seen? So ra is from the same. These are 3 letters, so they belong to the group of the words we call fa'ala. We are going to make another word, bigger word, by putting an alif in there, babe af'ala, and you add an alif in the beginning, and it is pronounced as ara. Meaning changes, it means to show. Okay. So if there are 3 letters, ra, alif, and ya, the meaning is to see. You are seeing yourself. But if you add an alif in the beginning, it goes to a different bab or different group of words, 4 letters, and the meaning changes to show. Which means here are 2 people are involved. One is seeing, one is showing him. Here only one person is involved, he is seeing himself. Both of these words are coming in the next one. Okay, so first word is ma orikum. Orikum is from this one. Okay, so ori. This is from this word and it means I show. And kum means you. So Pharaoh is saying, Orikum, I am showing you. Okay. But there is a word ma before that. And right after that, the word is illa. So ma will be translated as not. So the meaning will be ma orikum, I do not show you. Ma orikum, Pharaoh is saying that I am not showing you illa except. I'm not showing you but or except. Then he uses the word ma ara. So let's understand those words. Now with that word, illa is not there. So ma will be translated as that or what. Just keep it what here. Okay. Now the word we noticed before that was ra, alif and a ya. 3 letters. This means to see. Now in the grammar, if you have these 3 letters fa and lam, fa'ala, this means to do. If I make the grammar of the first person present tense af'alu, af'alu means I do. So if I put alif here, it will become I see. Okay. This is not 4 letters word. We are still using the 3 letters, but now we are making a different grammar. So ara that you see there, this alif is not pronounced, so it is ara. So this becomes ara. Ara means af'alu, I see. Ma ara, what I see. So he's saying, ma orikum illa, I don't show you, but ma ara, what I see. So he says that my intelligence, my logic tells me that this man is going to take over our land, Musa. He is going to expel us from the land. This is what I see from his behavior, his style, his power, whatever Musa is showing to them. So he is addressing again. Now Pharaoh is addressing the people who are sitting there and saying, look, whatever I see or whatever I feel is going to happen, I'm telling you that, I'm showing you that this man is not going to be any help us, but he will bring destruction and we will lose our kingdom, we will lose Egypt and everything. So he's logically convincing the people against the Mu'min that what I am telling you is what I see is going to happen. Then he is using another word, wama ahadikum illa. Again, the ma is first there and illa is there in three words. And in between is ahadikum. So again, we have to translate all these 3 together. Okay. So ma, because of the illa, will translate as a not. And illa means but. Okay. The word ahadikum is from the root letters ha, dal and ya. Hadaya means to guide someone. Okay. And again, af'alu, you put an alif in the beginning, it becomes first person's grammar. So ahadi, I guide. Okay. Ahadi. Kum means you people who are sitting here. So he's saying ahadikum, I guide you. But then he's saying ma ahadikum illa, except that I am guiding you. Not but I am guiding you. Where? Sabil ar-rashad, to a path which is straightforward, which is the right path. So Pharaoh thinks that he is guiding his people to the Sabil ar-rashad. So Rashad has many meanings. Rashada are the root letters. And there are many meanings to the hikmah, to wisdom, to be right, Rashid and Rushd, all those words we commonly know. So Rashadun is something which is straight. Okay, this is the first Rashadun. Then you put al before that, Al will remove one, the mas will become al-rashado, but when ra and lam come together, you don't pronounce lam, but you pronounce ra twice. Ar-rashado. Ar-rashado means something which is very straightforward, something which is right. And then he's using the word sabil. Sabil means a path, a road. So he's saying, I'm showing you, I'm not showing you, but a road which is straight, which means something which is logically is going to happen. I'm showing you, I'm warning you, I'm guiding you to the path, which is the right path, that kill Musa, get rid of all this, and then we will have our kingdom without any problem. So this is what Pharaoh is trying to, again, convey his understanding to the people there. Okay, so this is what he says. Then as soon as he stops, the moment takes over in the conversation. Waqala allazi amana. Waqala, and he said. Allazi means he. And who is that person? Amana, he believed. So instead of using the word mu'min, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using these 4 letters for the same person. Waqala allazi amana, and the man, the al-mu'min, who was speaking before, he started talking again, and he's saying something. What is he saying now? Saying the same word, Ya qawmi. He is addressing again his people, oh my people. Inni akhafu. Kha, waw, and fa. Khawfa means to fear something. Okay. Khawf, we know that, common word. To fear. When we put in alif, it becomes the grammar of first person. Af'alo, I do. If I apply that here, this waw, because of it has a fatha, will change into the sound of alif and will become akhafu. Akhafu means I fear. And he is using the word inni. Inni means indeed, surely I fear something. Ya qawmi, O my people. Inni akhafu, I fear. I have this worry. Okay, what is that fear? Alaykum, upon you or about you or for you. So he is again using and addressing the people in front of him and saying, I fear something will happen to you. And he is including himself, but the way he is speaking is saying alaykum. What is he fearing about? Mithla yawmil ahzabi. We have to translate these 3 words together. Okay, and that's what I will do. First of all, the first word, original word is mislun, with the 2 dhammas. All the nouns have 2 pesh or 2 dhammas at the end. Mislun means like or as. And the misal we use that. But mislun means same or like or as. That's the first word. Then the second word, original form, is yawmun. Yawmun means a day. Okay. The third word has these root letters ha, za, and ba. Okay. We make the noun from that by combining this and pronouncing his bun. The meaning of this word hizbun is a group, usually a group of people or a party of people or a combination of some people which may have their own thought process. There may be another hizbun, that may be a different group, they may believe in different things, they may do different things. So hizbun is a unique group or combination of people who believe in something or do something, or they may differ from another group. Hizbun, its plural is ahzabun. So ahzabun means groups, people, different groups who may have their own different understanding of anything. Ahzabun. Then you put al before that, so it will become al. Al will remove one dhamma, so it will become al ahzabu. The meaning is the groups, because it's a plural word. So now we have three nouns. Three separately: mithlun, which means like; yawmun, a day; al ahzabu, the groups, the parties, the divisions. Now we are going to combine these three. First of all, I'm going to put an off in between that. So it will become a day of the groups. A day of the groups. So this rule is mudaf mudaf ilayh. So when you combine in English by putting an off, in Arabic you take the first noun and you remove one dhamma from there. So it will become yawmu. The second noun changes dhamma to a kasra. So off will bring these two change. Now you have to read them together. So it will be yawmul ahzabi. So we combine these two words, and the meaning is that a day of the groups. A day came upon the groups of these different groups. Each one of them had a day, and this is a day of their destruction. The day when the azab befell them. Different nations, different groups, different communities, when Allah's punishment came to them, that particular day is called Yawmul Ahzab. Okay, so that is the combination of this. Now put an off in between these two words. Okay, so it will become double off there. Okay, now when you put, then the meaning will be a day like that of those ahzab. So when we put the off, then we again have to make some changes in the Arabic here. Changes will be first two dhammas change into one, and the second word, this changes to kasra. So now it became mislo yawmil ahzabi. Now so far the word is mithlo yawmil ahzabi. The meaning is that like a day of those which befell the previous nations, previous groups. Now one more change will take place. This noun mithlo is a maf'ul of akhafu. He's saying, I fear the like of a day. So when a noun comes as the maf'ul or the object of the verb akhafu, then it changes to a fatah, this dhamma. So without combining and writing these three, we cannot actually translate or understand properly. So the grammar, Arabic Fusha grammar, changed all three. This was mislun, it became mithla. This was yawmun, this became yawmi. This was ahzabun, it became ahzabi. So this combination happens because in Arabic, one word has the effect on the other word, and by doing that, the extra words that we put in English, they don't need to be put in there. Twice off, it doesn't have to be there. Just by changing the harakat, we bring the concept of combination. So he's saying, Ya qawmi, O my people, inni akhafu, I fear alaykum, for you or upon you, mithla yawmil ahzabi, like a day that befell or came upon these previous nations, previous groups. And what is that day? The day of their destruction. Okay, so that's he's reminding them. Then he wants to be specific and he wants to say a few things. First of all, he's saying, mithla dabi qawmin Nuh. So again, here words are simple, but the same thing will happen again. First, one word is qawmun. Again, if you have to start always with the full word, original word, qawmun means people. Okay. The second word is Nuhun. Nuhun is Noah. Okay. Prophet Noah. Okay. Again, the word before that is Dal, Alif, and Ba. And again, this is a Hamza. The meaning of these three letters is to have a certain condition, a plight, a result of having something. And this can be a punishment also. Whatever happened to someone is his plight, his condition, his situation. So the noun is da'bun. Again, do not pronounce dab because this is a Hamza. So the word is da'abun. This alif is sitting like a chair. So the tajweed should be da'abun. Da'abun, not da'bun. So this means plight, condition. And then again the fourth word is mislun. Example. Now apply the same rule which I did. Put an off between these two, put an off between those two, and then put off between the two. When you have done all that, these harakats will become just like that. Misla da'abi qawmi Nuhin. The example, the like of the plight of the people of the Noah. So first he is using the general statement group, Ahzab, and then he is pinpointing that think about the people of Nuh alayhi salam, what happened to their nation. What was the condition when the azab came upon them? They were destroyed. Then apply the same rule except that replace Nuh by Ad. Ad was another nation. This waw means whatever applied all here will also apply to Adun. Ad was a nation where their prophet Hud came. And there's a whole surah Hud in the Quran, how they argued with the prophet, how they disputed with the prophet, just like Pharaoh and his people are arguing with Musa alayhi salam. The people of the Ad had the same problem with their prophet Hud. So they were destroyed. So this Mu'min is reminding that Mithla dabi qawmi Adin, what was the plight of the people of the Ad? Okay. Then he goes to the third one. Then another nation, Thamud. Thamud was another nation where Saleh alayhi salam came. Again, he had a long argument with them. He preached into them for a long time. He invited them. They continued refusing. Allah's punishment befell them and they were destroyed. So he is using the third example that as a Qawm Samud. Then he is saying that those were not the only people. Wallazina, and those people. Mim ba'adihim, ba'ad means after, and hum means them. And them is pointing to Nuh, Ad, and Samud. After them, there were other nations, there were other groups of people who lived on the earth. They had their prophets, they had their messengers. They were also destroyed. So he is warning Qawm Pharaoh, his own people, that keep in mind what happened to the previous nations. The azab of Allah came, and then that is actually happened. Then Pharaoh and his people met the punishment, the azab of Allah, and that day was called the day of Misla Yaumin, Yaum, that day. So that was the day of Pharaoh, Yawm of Pharaoh, you can say, Misla Yaumi Pharaoh, that they were also destroyed because they did not listen. So what he's saying, so he stopped there. Then he is saying something different. He's saying, Wamallahu yuridu zulmal lil ibad. Here, the word is Ra, Waw, and Dal are the root letters. Okay. When these are three letters, Fala, if I make a four-letter word, Alif, I'll put in Alif in the beginning, and it will be pronounced as Arada. Arada in Urdu we say irada. Arada is the actual verb, and arada means to intend. Meaning is same, to make an intention. Irada is a noun, intention. But arada, when this becomes an alif, arada becomes to make intention or to do intention, because this is a verb. If a person is making intention as a third person, then we add a ya in the beginning and it becomes yuridu. Yuridu means he intends or he makes intention. So the meaning will be he, third person, is intends or he is making intention. Again, notice that in this sentence, the word before yurido is Allahu. This word you have to again look at the last letter. Last letter has a dhamma on it. Okay, Allahu. Okay, if it is the last letter is dhamma, then it will replace he. One thing. So the meaning will be Allah intends. Another thing, important thing is that the word Allah is coming before the verb yuridu. So when a noun comes before the verb, it brings the emphasis. It is Allah who does. Definitely Allah intends. But there is a ma before that. So the meaning will be Allah does not intend. It is not the intention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here the word ma by itself has the meaning of not. So Allah does not want, Allah does not have the intention, Allah does not intend. What does He not intend? The word commonly we know is zulmun, always with the two dhammas. Zulmun means zulm or wrong. We know this word very commonly. Doing something wrong or injustice to someone. Okay, but this is coming as a maf'ul of the yuridu. So when a word comes as a maf'ul, it changes to the mas to two fathas and we add an extra alif. So it becomes zulman. Zulman means wrongdoing or harm or injustice. Allah does not do injustice or wrong. Who? To lil ibad. Common word abdun means servant. Its plural is ibadun. Ibadun means servants. And then you put al before that. So it becomes the servants. And al will remove one dhamma. So it will become al ibadu. Al ibadu means the servants. Then you put lam. Lam means to or for. So when you pronounce lil ibad, to his servants, okay, or to the servants, Allah does not do wrong. And so this is al ibado, but lam is a harf jar. Harf jar changes to ibadi. That's the word in the Quran. Lil ibadi, to his servants. Or servants are the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the people. So Allah does not do wrong. He does not just destroy it because He wants to destroy the people. He sends the messenger. He wants to guide them. He wants to follow the right path. And when the punishment comes, it comes because of the wrongdoing of the people themselves, of the wrongdoings of rejecting the messengers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the message, the book, the guidance. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, now here again interestingly, from the context of this ayat, when the word or the sentence is start, وَمَاللَّهُ يُرِيدُ ظُلْمًا لِلْعِبَادِ, you cannot conclude from this point if this statement is from Allah or the man is speaking this statement. The man said that, yes, the azab came on the previous nations, but at this point, the speaker may be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. He's telling that I do not do wrong to my servants, or it may be that the mu'min, the person, is defining and saying Allah does not do wrong to the people. So inshallah, with this we will stop here and we'll continue. The speech continues. He keeps bringing the argument after argument, this mu'min, and then Pharaoh keeps interrupting him, and he starts using the very stupid statements in between. Here he is saying that I'm showing you what is right, but then he, little later during the speech of this man, he interrupts and he says to his prime minister, Haman, that make a ladder for me, I'll climb to the sky and see who is the God of Musa. And so he eventually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroys Pharaoh and his people who were following him. So inshallah we'll continue. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq to understand the Quran properly. Sadaqallahul Azim.